Hi, my name is Consuella Rough, and I am a breast cancer survivor / in the battle right now. 59 years of age. I was diagnosed first in 2012. I was in remission up until January of this year, where the cancer had spread it, as they call it. It's called metastasized cancer. And the reason for this video is because I had conversation with 4 of my friends in Chicago when I was there visiting a couple of weeks ago. And in speaking with them, they all were diagnosed with cancer and they were in treatment. And it just blew my socks off because I could not understand how is it that, I want to say all my friends, but I have more friends than 4, but it just struck me very oddly and it was very disheartening to me. And I just wanted to open up the dialogue about why is it that we don't speak about cancer in our community? What is it about us as brown-skinned women and men that we find it so difficult to speak to cancer and about it and the effects of it? And how did we come down with it? How is it in our families and we don't know that our grandparents or our parents had it, because it's all so hush-hush? And what goes on in this house stays in this house, and we just don't open up dialogue and have communication about it. So I wanted to bring the awareness to the forefront about cancer, and I want us to begin dialogue about cancer. So I would hope that at the end of this particular segment of the video that you would come and join dialogue and open up and express ourselves about cancer. So if you know someone that has been diagnosed and or is a survivor of cancer, why won't you join us and have the dialogue about cancer in our communities with our brown-skinned children, our brown-skinned mothers and fathers and siblings? I encourage you to do that. And I would so appreciate it if you would just join us in dialogue. And you can find us on Brown Skin Girls with Cancer on Facebook. We do have a Twitter account, but I don't know how to Twitter yet. We do have an Instagram account, but I don't know how to Instagram either. So that will be coming shortly. But right now, you can reach us on Brown Skin Girls with Cancer. When I first was diagnosed with breast cancer, it was in 2012, and I had felt a lump in my breast, so I made an appointment to have a mammogram. And they did the mammogram. Initially, I was told that we could not do the mammogram because I found the lump in my breast and they didn't want to irritate it. So we have to send you out, and I simply could not understand that. High and low, I went to Aurora St. Luke's in Milwaukee because that's where I was working at the time. And they indeed showed that there was a lump in my right breast, and they wanted to biopsy it. And so they scheduled a biopsy, and I left Milwaukee because I had received the wonderful job of working for our President Barack Obama. I was so excited, so happy, and nothing could change my world at that time. I was just more than excited to be able to be in a historical moment. And so after I concluded my training and got hired, I don't know if it was my first week on the job, first day on the job, but it was in that first week part. And I was sitting downstairs in the basement of the office in which I had been assigned to. And my phone rang from Aurora telling me that they needed me to come in immediately because they had received my biopsy results. And I said to the lady, I'm never, ever coming back to Milwaukee. And she says, but you have to get your results, and I can't give them to you on the phone. Lady, never ever will me never coming back to Milwaukee again. I just don't want to come back to Milwaukee. So whatever the results are, you need to tell me. And I guess after her knowing that I was not going to come back, and I was consistent with my speech and letting her know that I wasn't, she began to tell me that I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, that I needed to have surgery immediately because the type of cancer that I had was very aggressive, and eventually it could do a lot of damage to my body. And I said, thank you very much, but I will not be returning to Milwaukee, and you have a great day. And I sat there and I'm trying to process this because I know about cancer. It's been in my family like all of my life. My grandmother, my brother, my father, my aunts, so many members of my family had cancer. So I was very aware of cancer. And I also knew that everybody that in my family that had cancer that was diagnosed within 6 months to a year, they were all dead. And I did not want to die, but I didn't want to hear about cancer. And as I thought about my younger brother who had passed away from cancer, my dad, I started screaming like somebody was raping me. And I was in the workplace, but I thought I was alone, and I wasn't. And the volunteer that was volunteering in the office that day was Betty Bakes. And she came down the stairs with this look like, who's in here? And it was just me, Betty. And I just grabbed her and I just hugged her and I just sobbed all over her. And she just in a frozen state, and then she just released me to say, it's all gonna be fine. I have a friend that works with Well Women's, and I'm gonna put you in touch with her, and we're gonna work through this. We're gonna work through it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. So she was my very first cheerleader. And as she said, it worked out mighty fine because everyone that she put me in touch with was absolutely marvelous. They were very caring, and they walked me through step by step, gave me great doctors and wonderful oncologists and great surgeons. Everyone that partook in the process of me becoming a whole healing person was marvelous. And so I began my journey, but I had my job and I was so excited and I just wanted to do that. I needed Barack Obama to be the president one more time, and nothing was gonna stop me from doing that job. And Betty kept trying to encourage me, you need to tell Stacy, your supervisor, that you have this, because you're gonna have times that you won't be able to work. I'm gonna do my job. That's all I knew, was I was gonna do my job. So at some point I broke down and I realized that I did need to speak to my supervisor about this because all of the appointments that I had. And so in talking to her, she was telling me, well, you're gonna need some time off. I'm not taking any time off. I'm gonna do my job. I was hired to do a job, and that's what I'm gonna do. And the only way that I'm not gonna do my job is Barack Obama himself is gonna have to call me and tell me that. So after a couple of weeks of working and doing my job and all of those wonderful things that entail getting Barack into office, on a Saturday morning, Stacy calls me and says, I need you to come into the office. And I'm thinking, what? The hell you want, lady? So she says, just come in, and I did. And had me waiting around. And I couldn't understand the purpose of my waiting around, wasting my Saturday. So I said, well, I have to go because my grandson is here and we have our grandbabies and we need to feed them and take care of them, and begin our day. And so we left, my honey and I. And we're driving down John Nolan Drive and my phone rings. And I see a 312 area code on the phone, so I'm thinking it's one of my nieces, somebody like that. So I answered the phone, and it says, "Hello, may I speak with Consuela?" And I said, "This is Consuela speaking, and this is Barack Obama." I was like, "Lies you tell, lies! You are not Barack Obama calling me from a 312 area code. I know Barack worked in the White House. You wouldn't be calling from a 312 area code." "No, yes, this is Barack Obama." I said, "My Barack Obama, the president, right?" "Yes, the president." I said, "No, lies, you tell, lies. You know you're not telling the truth." And I guess he had to say, "This got to be the craziest female I've ever spoken with on the phone. Why do I have to be all these lies?" But I just couldn't fathom the idea, and I thought it was really a prank. Why would the president call me? Who am I? I'm just really nobody. A very small person with nothing, who has not anything. And as busy as he is with all he has to do, he took out time to call Consuela. And it was just mind-blowing to me. And I just could not believe. But eventually I calmed down, and he began to tell me how wonderful a job that he heard that I had been doing. And he knew that I was having some health issues, and he knew that I needed to take care of them right now. And I'm thinking, I only said, he said, "Yeah, I heard that the only way that you would go and do what needed to be done was Barack Obama himself would have to call you." That's when I really knew at that point that that was the president calling me. And all I wanted to know was, how many times the president called you? Because he called Consuela. And he said, "I really need you to go on and have what needs to be done, because this is early in the game. This is like April, March, and November, you'll be healed. And I'm gonna need all boots on the ground come November. So you need to go on and take care of this, because this is important. And I'm gonna need you." And I'm thinking, gosh damn it, I'm gonna get this done, because the president took out time to call me. And all I wanted to know was ask my friends how many times the president called you. And I don't know anybody that he's called except for one other person here in Madison, but he called me. And then as we driving, whoop, somebody taps the back of the car, and I'm going, who in the hell? Who hits somebody in the car when they talking to the president? Who does that? I'm just like, who in the hell hits somebody when you talking to the president? I guess he's saying, now what the Sam Hill is going on? Why this is the cussingest woman. And I done called the president a lie about 50 times, and I done said too many things that was inappropriate. But anyway, in hindsight, he thought enough to call me. And then the follow-up phone call, because he thought that he caused me to have a fender bender, which wasn't true. But he had Valerie Jarrett to give me a phone call. 2 days later, she calls and goes, "May I speak with Consuela?" I'm like, who is this? "This is Valerie Jarrett, and I'm calling because Barack Obama asked me to do a follow-up phone call because he believes that he caused you to have a fender bender." And I'm like, good God Almighty, he's awesome. I love this man. He is awesome. And I said, everything is wonderful. I appreciate you calling and checking up on me, and thanks so much. Now my boyfriend is excited because he likes himself some Valerie Jarrett. She didn't want him. Oh, now I'm impressed. Valerie Jarrett, she called Consuela. Yes, she did. She called Consuela. She didn't call George. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm here today enlarged because there were people that was happy enough to want to make sure that I was safe, healthy, and happy. So thanks to Betty Banks, thanks to Well Women's, thanks for Coleman Foundation, thanks to my President of the United States, and my George is the reason why I'm here besides my Savior. Those are the people that was very instrumental in my staying sane, still having a life, still being here. after being told that my life expectancy was 18 months, the devil was a lie, and I'm still here. And this is 2016, if I'm not mistaken, I'm still here. But I have a reoccurrence of cancer, and I'm fine with that because I can beat that one up too. So I want you to join us on Brown Skin Women with Cancer and open up the dialogue in our communities about cancer. I'm sure that you have a story equal or better than mine. So let's share, okay? Have a great evening.